Here's a question that everyone who has a cat gets wrong. What actually makes someone a truly great cat owner? Most people point to the obvious stuff: the food, the clean litter box, the toys. None of that is the real answer. The truth is something your cat has been showing you all along. In small signs, most owners look right past every day. But here's the thing. The last sign on this list goes so far past the rest that once you see what it means, you'll never watch your cat the same way again. Start with the one almost everyone misreads. You're petting your cat, everything's calm, and then, out of nowhere, they turn and gently bite your hand. No hiss, no warning, no claws, just a soft little nibble, and then they go right back to being relaxed. Sound familiar? Most people freeze when it happens. Some pull their hand away, sure they did something wrong. A few decide their cat is moody or unpredictable and never think about it again. Here's what most people don't realize. Cats don't speak in words, they speak in pressure. And that soft, careful nibble, the one with no force behind it, isn't a warning at all. It's a leftover from kittenhood. When kittens feel safe with their mother and their litter mates, they nibble gently during grooming and bonding. It's the physical shorthand for "you're family and you're safe." So when your grown cat does it to you, on purpose, with that same softness, that's not aggression. That's a love letter, written in the only language they have. And here's something you can use tonight. There's a clean way to tell a love nibble from a real bite. And it takes 1 second. A love bite comes during calm contact, with no hiss, no flattened ears, no build-up, and the pressure stays soft, like they're holding back on purpose. A real bite sends a signal first: a twitching tail, a turned ear, a sudden pause. The soft one, mid-cuddle, with no warning, that's the kittenhood nibble. That's your cat quietly filing you under family. A veterinary behaviorist at the University of Georgia, Sharon Crowell Davis, has spent decades studying these affiliative behaviors. The gentle, social ones cats share only with a select few. The research is still building, but the pattern that keeps surfacing is this. Cats save these soft mouth behaviors for the individuals they count as their core social group. Not strangers, not just anyone who fills the bowl. Only the ones they've truly bonded to, and that bond shows up in stranger ways than a nibble. Here's one you feel more than you notice. Your cat walks up and bumps their head into you, against your hand, your leg, your face, then drags their cheek along you and lingers there. It looks like a cute little headbutt. It's actually one of the most meaningful things a cat can do, and almost nobody reads it right. Your cat is covered in scent glands, on their cheeks, their lips, the corners of their forehead. When they press those spots into you and rub, they're laying down their own scent and mixing it with yours. In a cat's world, scent is identity. A shared scent is what turns a group of separate animals into one family unit that belongs together. Behaviorists have long described this as how cats build a single group smell. The invisible badge that says, same colony, same home, safe. And the face is no accident. A cat's strongest scent glands sit right there on the cheeks and forehead, so a face rub isn't a casual brush. It's them reaching for their most concentrated signature and pressing it into you on purpose. So when your cat head bumps you and rubs their face along your skin, they're not just saying hello. They're writing you into their family scent. They're taking the most personal thing they own, their identity, and stamping it onto you so the whole world reads you as theirs. Think about that for a second. Out of everything in the house, your body is the one they mark as home. And here's the part that lands deeper. Cats don't waste this on threats or strangers. They save it for the members of their inner circle, the ones their nervous system has already decided are safe. So every head bump is a tiny renewal of the same quiet vow. You belong here, your home, your family, which raises a question most owners never stop to ask. Quick one before the next sign. What's the one thing your cat does that you've never been able to explain? The little habit that makes no sense to anyone but the two of you. Drop it below. Some of these turn out to mean a lot more than people think. Have you ever caught your cat staring at you from across the room, and then, slowly, they close their eyes and open them again? It almost looks like they're nodding off sitting up. They're not tired. They're talking to you. That slow blink is one of the most deliberate things a cat can do. And to understand why, you have to know what eyes mean in the cat world. Direct eye contact is a threat. It's how cats size each other up before a fight. Holding a stare is a challenge. So when your cat looks right at you and chooses to shut their eyes, slowly, on purpose, they're doing the exact opposite of bracing for danger. They're switching off their first line of defense, right in front of you, because being near you is the safest part of their day. That's not a sleepy cat. That's a cat lowering the one guard they never lower for a threat. And this one isn't only a theory. In 2020, researchers at the University of Sussex, led by Tasmin Humphrey, tested it directly. One study, a modest number of cats, and a result that still needs repeating, but it was striking. Cats were noticeably more likely to approach a person who slow blinked at them than someone holding a flat, neutral face. And they slow blinked more at their own owners than at strangers. It wasn't random, it was selective. It was personal. If that just changed how you'll look at your cat tonight, subscribe. There's a sign coming that goes deeper than any of this. And here's the part you can use because this one talks back. The next time your cat catches your eye, hold their gaze softly. No staring contest. Then close your eyes slowly and open them again. If they blink it back, that wasn't an accident. That was a reply. You just told your cat, in the only grammar they have, that you feel the same way. Most owners never realize the door was open at all. The conversation was there the whole time, waiting for them to answer in kind. Which raises a bigger question most owners never think to ask. How far does a cat go once they decide they can drop their guard around you completely? Your cat walks over, sits down right beside you, and faces completely the other way. Back to you, eyes on the room. Most people read that as a brush-off. Some feel a little stung by it, like the cat came over just to ignore them. That read is almost exactly backwards. When a cat sits with their back to you, tail loose, body relaxed, not scanning, not braced, they're handing you the one thing cats protect more than anything else, their blind spot. In the wild, a cat almost never turns their back on open space unless they're certain nothing behind them is a threat. That instinct doesn't switch off just because there's a couch and a food bowl now. They're still wired to guard their flank. So when your cat aims that exposed back directly at you and just settles, their nervous system has already run the numbers and filed you under safe. That's not your cat ignoring you. That's your cat trusting you with the one thing they guard most. John Bradshaw, one of the most established voices in cat behavior out of the University of Bristol, has long made the point that cats don't build trust the way dogs do. They don't give it away on contact. It gets built slowly, through consistency, through calm, through never once being the source of a scare. So if your cat does this with you, you passed a test you never knew you were sitting. Quietly, over months, without a single word spoken. Notice it the next time it happens. The relaxed back, the loose tail, the way they don't flinch when you shift behind them. Of everything in that room, you're the one part they've decided they don't need to watch. And that, more than anything you could ever buy, is what a truly great owner really is. Not perfect, just safe enough to turn a back on. Why does your cat follow you into the bathroom? Every time you shut the door, they cry at it. You leave it open, they stroll in and sit there, staring up at you like it's the most natural thing in the world. It's funny. It's also one of the most misread habits there is. To get it, you have to know how your cat files you in the first place. Some researchers describe the bond a cat forms with their person as a secure attachment, the same category used for a young child and a caregiver. In 2019, a study from Oregon State University, led by Kristin Vitale, tested this directly and found that most cats showed exactly that kind of secure bond with their owners, lining up closely with what turns up in human infants. One study, still being built on, but the result was hard to ignore. The idea underneath it is simple. You're your cat's secure base. When you're nearby, the world makes sense and their stress drops. When you vanish behind a closed door, that base disappears with you. The bathroom just happens to be the perfect trigger. From your cat's side of the door, you walked into a small, enclosed space with one way out and sealed yourself off from the safe zone the two of you share. So they close the distance. That's not clinginess. That's a cat keeping their secure base in sight. In feral colonies, bonded cats naturally stay close during the quiet, exposed moments. Grooming, resting, all the in-between times. Your bathroom routine lands in exactly that category. So the next time they shoulder the door open and flop down on the tile like they own it, let them stay. They're not being strange. They just don't want to be anywhere you aren't. If this is making you see your cat a little differently, subscribe to Whisker Code. Every video here is about one thing, learning to hear what your cat has been telling you all along. That's the whole mission. Now, the last two signs, the ones that go all the way down. Watch what your cat does right before they settle onto you. Those front paws start pushing into you, slow and rhythmic, one then the other, like they're working dough. People call it making biscuits and laugh it off as a quirk. It's far more tender than that. Kneading is the very first thing a cat ever does. As newborn kittens, they push their paws against their mother's belly to start the flow of milk, and their tiny brains lock that motion together with the deepest comfort and safety they will ever feel. Warmth, fullness, a heartbeat close by. Most cats carry that wiring for life. It never fully fades. The kitten that once needed its mother is still in there, and every so often it surfaces, usually in the calmest, safest moment of the day. So when your grown cat climbs onto your lap and starts kneading, they're reaching all the way back to that first feeling of being completely cared for, and they're pulling it up because of you. Often it comes with a low purr, half-closed eyes, maybe a little drool, the whole body slipping into a state it hasn't truly left since infancy. Here's what makes it hit harder. Your cat isn't needing the blanket or the couch in that moment. They're needing you. Their body has linked you with the single safest memory it owns, the one from before they ever had to be careful. You're not just a warm spot. You've become the grown version of the only comfort they knew before the world taught them to guard themselves. And once a cat trusts you that far, there's only one place left to go, the thing they save for almost no one. This is the one teased at the very start, the sign that goes beyond all the others. When your cat falls asleep on top of you, on your chest, in your lap, pressed into your side, they're not just being warm. They're overriding every survival instinct they have. Think about that for a second. Sleep is the single most defenseless state any animal can enter. Their senses go quiet. Their reaction time falls apart. Their ability to bolt drops to nothing. For a cat, an animal wired to be both hunter and hunted, where to fall asleep is never a throwaway choice. They could pick the quiet corner, the hidden spot under the bed, the top of the cat tree, where they can watch the whole room coming. Instead, they climbed onto a living, moving body and let go of every defense they own. Read that again. Not a safer spot. You. A choice, not a habit. There's research from Utrecht University from a behavioral biologist named Ruud van den Bos into how stress and safety shape the decisions animals make. The fuller picture is more careful than any single headline. But the through line is intuitive. A cat only sinks into real, deep sleep somewhere their nervous system has already cleared as threat-free. So when your cat does it on you, The math is already done. You're not just a safe place. You're the safest one they have. Not the warmest, not the softest. The safest. For an animal that spends its whole life quietly calculating exits, that's the highest rank there is. This is the sign most owners take completely for granted. They feel the cat curl up. They think, "Aw," and they reach for their phone. But your cat just made the most exposed decision of their entire day and laid the full weight of it on you, on purpose. That's not cute, that's surrender. Total, unguarded surrender from an animal that surrenders to almost nothing. So look at the whole picture. The soft nibble that files you under family. The head bump that stamps their scent onto you as home. The slow blink that drops their oldest defense. The turned back that hands you their blind spot. The bathroom escort that keeps their safe base in sight. The kneading that reaches back to the first comfort they ever knew. And the sleep that lets go of everything. 7 quiet signs, and not one of them is really about the behavior. Each one is your cat answering the question this video opened with. A truly great cat owner was never the one with the priciest food or the fullest toy basket. It's the one a guarded, careful animal decided it was safe to trust. And if your cat does these things, you already have your answer. That's the thing no one tells you about being a great cat owner. It was never about the gear or the grooming or getting every little thing right. It's about whether the most defended animal in the house slowly decides it can let its guard down around you, 1 inch at a time, in moments most people never even notice. Until one day, it's asleep on your chest like it's the easiest thing in the world. That's not a pet tolerating you. That's the deepest trust a cautious animal knows how to give, and it was never loud enough for most people to hear. And if that's true when they're curled up safe against you, it's just as true in the opposite moment. The second the doorbell rings and your cat vanishes. Because the way they disappear when a stranger walks in hides the exact same secret, and most owners read it completely backwards. That story's on the screen right now. Once you learn to hear it, your cat was never really keeping their distance at all. They were waiting to see if you'd understand.